Hi everyone, my name's Anna and I'm the technical lead for the Happy Hats for Kids in Hospitals project connected with Hack for Impact Cal Poly. So in this video, I'm going to be giving a brief demo of most of the functionality of this application. And just to give a little bit of background, this application is mainly geared toward coordinating volunteers for scheduled events as well as announcement sharing. So this application, to begin, I'm going to be showing the functionality for the volunteer side of the application. So to begin, I'm going to go ahead and log into a volunteer account. Um, and so this is the landing page of the website, and there are basically two options, two things that a volunteer can do. They can either manage shifts and view previous shifts that they've done at the volunteering events for the Happy Hats for Kids in Hospitals volunteering events, or they can view the announcements, which are posted by only admin accounts. So to begin, I will just go ahead and show the announcements page. Again, most of these are test announcements right now. But in the future, when volunteers are going to be using this website, they'll be able to see any communication posted by an admin account. But the main functionality for this application is the calendar page. So on this page, volunteers are able to see all of the events that are scheduled in the upcoming months. And they are also displayed to the left here on this side. They can access the event either this way or by clicking on the event in the main calendar. And so for an upcoming event, a volunteer is able to see, basically this is the modal that they see, and they can see when the event is taking place as well as have the option to sign up. So signing up is very easy for this event. And the volunteer also has the ability to request custom hours. And that is also very easy to do. So say a volunteer isn't able to make it full time, they can go ahead and request an admin for those custom hours. And as you can see here, their previous status for default time slot was approved, but now since they've requested custom hours, their status is pending. So on approval from an admin, that will change to approved and they'll be able to continue and get those hours as necessary. Another functionality of the volunteer side is to view previous events that they've participated in, as well as if those previous event hours had been approved by an admin. So now I'm going to go through and make sure, yes. So this was a test event that I created. But as you can see here, post event, a note will be written here that says either the hours have or have not been approved. And in this case, this event's hours for this particular volunteer have been approved. There are two cases in which those hours would not be approved. One is if the admin hasn't completed that process of approving hours, or two, if the admin intentionally did not approve those hours, say if a volunteer did not show up for an event or something along those lines. So that is the majority of the functionality for a volunteer. They're able to see all previous events that have taken place in the calendar year. And yeah, so fairly simple on the volunteer side. So now I'm going to go ahead and log into an admin account to show the functionality on the flip side to create all of this and make sure that happens. So the first thing that I'm going to show is the announcements page. So similar to the volunteer page, admins are able to see all announcements that have taken place and all announcements that are currently posted. But in addition to that, they're also able to create or delete announcements. So let's say I want to create an announcement. Hello, volunteers. And I'm publishing this. So I want to say hi to all of my volunteers. So on a successful submission, they will be able to see that the announcement was successfully posted. And with that, you're able to see that announcement. But let's say, for instance, that you wanted to delete an announcement because it's old or something like that. Then that is also very easy to do. That announcement is automatically deleted. So that's the majority of the functionality for the announcements page, fairly simple. So the next process that's very important is managing the volunteers. So on this page, the admin is able to see all of the volunteers currently in the system, as well as their completed hours, upcoming scheduled hours, as well as hours that were not completed. And those non-completed hours are related to not completing an event that they were signed up for. And in that case, that is a very particular situation where, again, a volunteer just doesn't show up for an event that they're signed up for. And the majority of those hours will be completed because volunteers will be showing up to their events. And then up in this upper right-hand corner, you can see a modal here for approving volunteers. So this is the case to make sure that an admin has full control of the application. And in this case, a pending volunteer is an account that has been created but has not been approved by an admin. And in that case, a volunteer will not be able to access the calendar or sign up for events or see any announcements in that case as well. So again, to approve a volunteer that is creating an account and is waiting for access to the site is very easy. All you need to do is click this button and then they show up in the list somewhere right here. And again, so let's say that a volunteer didn't fill out all their forms properly or something's missing. That volunteer can also be rejected. Again, all of these are test cases right now, but even if a volunteer is rejected, they can still be moved into pending, let's say when all of that paperwork is complete. And then the final case on this page is actually rejecting a volunteer that had priorly been approved. And so in that case, let's just say a volunteer hasn't shown up to a lot of events in a while and the admin doesn't want to see that volunteer in their system right now. They can go ahead and click this still disable button. And all that does is just move the account from the main list right here, and it moves them into this rejected field, and it removes them from any upcoming events that they might be signed up for. So that is the main functionality of this page. And then the last page, the most important page, is the calendar page. So this is the place where the admin has full control of managing upcoming events and any prior or previous events that need approval for hours. So the first thing that I'd like to walk through is just creating an event. Let's just say the admin wants to create an event and they want to schedule something that isn't in these particular default hours. So they want to make an event at a custom time. So let's just say this event is going to be pretty long. So let's say it's going from 12 to 5 p.m. And then you can easily just put a title and a description. And that quickly makes the event. You can see it right here in the calendar. And then once this event is created, you're able to have full functionality for editing said event, deleting said event, and seeing who has signed up as a volunteer for this event. And finally, seeing the pending volunteers for that event. Right now, there are none, but that's just the case because I just created it. So let's just say I want to edit an event right now. Let's say instead of 5 p.m., something happened and now I want to change it to only go till 4 p.m. That's very easy. And that updates the event automatically. And then let's just say something happened and I just don't even want this event to happen anymore. Easy, just it's gone. I did also want to show a modal that does have volunteers signed up for it as well. So in the case that a volunteer has signed up, you can see all of these, all of the volunteers will be displayed in this modal right here. By default, again, if it's default hours, they're approved for said event. But in the case that a volunteer has requested pending hours, they will show up in this list right here, and you can easily either reject or deny those pending hours for the custom hours. But the last thing that I would like to discuss is post-event, how to approve hours. So I want to find an event. Oh, I guess I can talk about this one, even though this doesn't have any volunteers in it right now. So post-event, basically all the functionality will be shut off. You can't edit it. You can't sign up for an event anymore. But you can see this new button called Distribute Completed Hours. And all that does is takes all of the approved volunteers and adds those hours that they completed into the volunteer display for completed hours. However, in the case that a volunteer didn't show up or those hours for some reason should not be approved, I want to make sure that I find one that has volunteers. Okay, here we go. So in the case that someone didn't show up or something happened and their hours should not be approved, this description right here is going to be displayed at the bottom of every single volunteer who came to the event. And if for some reason you need to change that and you don't want their hours to be marked as completed, you can quickly click undo, and then it easily updates their hours to say they did not complete that event, and those hours will not be logged in their account. So with that being said, that is the majority of the functionality. Again, I didn't walk through signing up for the first time on the volunteer side, but that is the functionality of this application. And again, I'm so happy that we got the opportunity to work with Happy Hats for Kids in Hospitals and give them this awesome product. So yeah, if you watch this, thank you. I hope you enjoy, and I hope this is helpful. So bye, everyone.